point in the session, I'd like to invite you to discuss what your main issue of concern is.
Yes, I'd like to talk about, what I've been eating for breakfast and lunch. I eat a pretty healthy dinner. My roommate cooks pretty whole foods and some nice meals, but my breakfast and lunch, it's mostly cereal for breakfast, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and chips for lunch.
And what is your issue of concern with what you're eating for breakfast and lunch?
Well, I know both those foods can be highly processed, and they contain a lot of sugars. Or sugar.
All right, so if I understand correctly, you feel like you eat relatively healthy for dinner. You have a roommate that cooks, but you're concerned with the amount of sugar and the fact that the foods you eat for breakfast and lunch are highly processed?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'd like to ask you about any dietary changes that you've made in the past.
Well, I mean, I try to transition to some healthier cereals and different milks. Instead of all dairy, maybe like soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, and yes, I've worked that towards that. Maybe adding some different things besides chips to the lunch.
Okay, so you've had some success switching out the dairy for what you perceive to be some healthier milk alternatives, and you've also switched the chips out for some healthier snacks at lunch?
Yep.
All right, well, I'd like to congratulate you on that. It's very easy it's not very easy to make changes and merge old habits with new.
Yeah.
But you must be motivated. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. So those are some successes, but I'd like to ask you about any challenges that you've had with making changes from processed foods.
Well, the biggest hindrance to things is like time and money, basically. I eat peanut butter sandwiches because they're cheap, and cereal because it's cheap.
All right, so if I'm understanding correctly, money is probably, the biggest challenge. You feel like it's going to cost a little more money to switch from processed to whole foods, and also time is a factor for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's very common. A lot of people have the same issues. They want to switch from processed foods to healthier alternatives, but they're concerned about the extra money or time that might require.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'd like to talk a little bit about your motivation to change, how motivated you are. On a scale of 1 to 12, with 1 meaning not motivated at all and 12 meaning highly motivated, where do you think you'd fall?
Probably about a 9.
About a 9? Okay, so you're fairly motivated.
Yeah.
So that should help working with some of these challenges. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about setting some goals. I feel like there are a lot of things that we could start with, but what do you think will work best for you?
Well, I mean, I know, trying to find cheaper alternatives for good things is something I can do, and I try to do. Maybe switching out what I eat for lunch once a week or a couple times a week maybe be better. Maybe bring a salad or something, make a healthier sandwich. Breakfast, eating better cereals. Cereal isn't necessarily bad, it's just what cereals you eat, I guess. Yeah.
All right, sounds like you've got some really good first steps. So you'd like to maybe bring salad for lunch a few days a week, or even switch it out, your peanut butter sandwich for a healthier sandwich alternative.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like you could come up with some healthier types of cereals in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think you've got some really great ideas. And anything else that you think might be reasonable?
No, not off the top of my head.
All right, so I think with what you've come up with already, we are definitely on track to help you switch from some processed foods to some healthier alternatives, even though time and money are a challenge for you.
Yeah, I'm willing.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.